What's up, guys? Welcome back to the Team Solemn Circus live video. On the left side here, we have Brandon Despia going up against Memento on the right side. This is going to be us playing here. Before we dive on in, don't forget to like, comment, share, channel a lot. We're on the 10K, and we need you guys' support. We are going to be seeing a die roll with a 9 be on the Memento side, and then a lower than 9 on the Brandon side. So we are going to be seeing Memento going to be going first. Before we dive on in, I already said the whole subscribing spiel, so we're going to be activating the field spell, summoning up the attachment of Shigu, which is then going to activate the effect, destroying, and we already know the whole combo here, so we're going to be speeding through it from both sides. We send the Gatic as well as a Goblin and the Mace, and so actually with the field spell being on the field, we can actually reborn out one as well, which is pretty cool, and we have not used our normal summon, so we can have access to both the Mace and the Goblin here. So we are going to think about that for a second when we do opt to choose to do it. And then we're going to be seeing the Gatic summon itself back out, as well as Mace being summoned off the field spell. Then we're going to be adding the Goblin back to the hand. We are going to be then activating the Mace effect to destroy herself. To then search for the Bone Party. Bone Party will be destroying the Goblin in the hand, or the Combined Creation in the hand here. So having Combined Creation as well as a field spell in the hand is definitely not a great opener. We're going to go for a Dark Blade. Dark Blade is going to destroy itself, summon out the copy of Anguish. Anguish can search for the Sleepy here, and then we can kind of continue. We are going to be kind of opting into some weird lines here. We could go up to the Fiend's stuff or a copy of the our Cross Sheep right away, but we opt to go for Sleepy first so that we don't, if we get hit with something, we kind of can continue our play. We go up into the Horn Dragon, or Twin Dragon here, which can destroy the Sleepy, dumping the Fusion and search for the Horn Dragon and I believe another Sleepy. We're then going to banish the Fusion to allow us to search for another Fusion. So this is definitely a bit of a misplay. We should have had Acuron if it is in our deck. I think at this point I was not playing it actually. Definitely looking back was probably bad. I think this was a tournament right after the deck came out, or the Acuron came out, and I was like, oh, I'll just not play it for this. I think I just didn't change the deck list up, and I just didn't include it, and I didn't really change my deck. But you definitely do play it. You probably would have searched it there and played very differently. But we do put back to go for the big guy, then we're going to activate Memento Fusion, putting back a whole bunch to go up for the Mega one here, which can then dumping the Trap card as well as the Tatsu no Shigu and another Goblin. I don't think there's any real point of dumping Goblin there. Definitely no need. And we can summon out the Horn Dragon there, and if we want to, we can link away, but we're choosing not to. We're going to go end phase, setting the Trap card, just passing turn on this. This is not a great Memento end board. Now, it is a very pure-ish Memento end board, and it's going to do a lot of stuff for us. You know, we have Horn Dragon that can pop. We have 5 negates on the field monsters, but it's not going to do that much, especially against Brandon Despia. We're going to be seeing the Dear Servant going to be activated, and that's going to essentially make them not be able to fusion summon for the rest of this turn. So we're going to dump a copy of Garua, letting us search for either Quem or a Maximus, and adding that Quem to the hand is going to be very nice. Now on resolution, we are going to be activating the effect of the Combined Creation. They are Chainlink 1 Garua. As we see the summon out of the Anguish there, and then they forgot the draw, so they do draw. Then we get to search for the Mace. So we now have a Snatch Steal as well, which is very important. I feel like we should have prioritized summoning out a Herald here for this matchup, and we do see a Book of Eclipse, and this is what I mean. If we would have the Herald, we would have been able to negate that Book of Eclipse there, because this Book of Eclipse kind of cooks this board if we don't have any of the powerful links on the field. Now, Book of Eclipse is actually really good in this format if players have not realized that. I do like it quite a bit, unless you're playing like Links, and even then it's still kind of decent. But we do set the whole entire field here. And then we activate the Albion effect, being able to send from the deck. Now, we are locked out of fusions. Or I guess we're locked out of our extra deck this turn, so it is going to be kind of hard for us to beat over this entire board. But we send a Retribution to allow us to kind of draw one more card. Now, I feel like I definitely would have done that maybe a little bit first before we get to go for any of that Book of Eclipse. Especially if we have an Ash Blossom in the hand, they probably would Ash the Book of Eclipse there, which would kind of make it hard for us to kind of continue our plays. Unless we were trying to draw into a Brand of Fusion, which definitely could be a possibility there, but we do have a Quem in the hand, which can dump the other point. But once again, we activated a Dear Servant, which can now make it kind of hard for us to kind of play the game. but it is a little bit necessary if you want to play some variations of Branded. I don't think you have to play it for the deck, but definitely an option. We also see High Spirits in the hand as well, and I believe a Maximus too here, which is kind of rough. So we see Maximus banishing the Garua, and we're going to summon itself out. Now we dump 2 from the extra deck, and this is going to be the moment of truth, deciding if I am playing the Feast with package or not. Because for a second there, I actually don't think I'm playing the Feast with package at all. And like we should send here from Brandon, we should probably send the Albion and the we have Quim in the hand, so we don't need to send Titaniclad, but we could send like the Alba Lentis or Rinbrum and Albaz or the Albion here, so we can send the Albion to the graveyard, and we do send another copy of the the big creation here. Yeah, we definitely can dump that for free from the extra deck. We don't really care that much. And we do normal summon with the Quem, activating the effect, sending the Albaz to the graveyard. And now we have multiple access to kind of fusion summon during our opponent's turn, which is going to be pretty nice. They do activate a talents here to rip our hand. And they know we have Mace and a Sleepy. But we opt to chain a DD Crow. So this was actually the locals that I was playing a different bunch of hand traps there, testing the different hand traps out. And I just forgot the Alcuron in the at home, which is kind of rough when I was siding at some of the stuff. But we do see a Droll in the hand as well here, but they are going to rip the Sleepy. Definitely a good option here to hit that Sleepy. It's very impactful card. But we are going to now not have Albaz in the graveyard anymore, which is very, very crucial for the strategy. We do kind of have access to it a little bit by being able to set a Branded opening during the end phase here. But we have the Albion, and then they activate the effect during the end phase. We can set a Branded we can set a Branded opening there, which kind of allows us to dump an Albaz to count, so we can continue playing if we want to get rid of the card in our hand. So we do set the Branded opening there, and then we flip up and we draw 4, which is going to be very crazy. Like, having to replenish 4 cards from our hand is honestly just nuts. And then in the end phase, we are going to go effects targeting both of them, and they're just going to scoop it up, realizing the game is going to be lost. Because we can go combine our Creation King, target the Memento, the Horn Dragon and itself, pop their back row, and then Horn Dragon can pop the Anguish and then their monsters. So then essentially they're going to be board wiped, leaving just 1 card left in the hand. And we have full combo with OTK next turn, being able to just go Battle Fate or even pop 1, whatever. We can find a way to pop the Combined Creation, then that's going to be able to bring out the Creation King, and then we have enough materials in the graveyard already to summon back out the Combined Creation. That's going to be 8,000 just directly. Nothing's really going to stop that in the cards in the hand. But yeah, this is definitely one of the locals where we're playing a little bit of a different build of Memento. I think we have the Drolls, DD Crows in the main deck, Ash Blossom. Obviously, I think we're not currently playing Veilers, but I wanted to test out a little bit of stuff. Definitely not a good build, so don't look at this and be like, oh, that's crazy. Yeah, we were just testing out some random stuff, and we're not even playing Alcuron. Definitely a misplay on our part. You definitely want to play that card. That card's going to be absolutely crazy. Essentially making your combos now even more explosive and better in the resource management. And this deck is already crazy in resource management. It's one of the reasons why I love this deck so much. But diving on in, we are going to be seeing the Branded Despia now going to be opting to go first. And let's see if we get Puppet locked. So we do see an Aluber in the hand, which is going to allow us to have access to a Branded Fusion. We do normal summon the Aluber, and we do chain a Veiler, so we still are on Veilers. And then we have the Branded Fusion anyways here. No Ash Blossom here, so we can send the Albaz alongside. I think we also have an Albaz in the hand as well, if I'm not mistaken. I kind of remember this a little bit, but honestly, Aluber plus Albaz is a really good combo in the hand. We're sending Lubellion so we can have access to the Branded Lost. Going up for that Albion here, then we're going to activate the effect of Albion. And we do chain another Veiler on this. We do have the Cartesia to summon herself out, and now we can tag out for Lubellion. Lubellion can activate the effect, placing another Branded Lost on the field. I'm going to say another Branded card, but Branded Lost on the field, and now we have access to search once again. So this can give us either a McCourier or the another like Albion, which can then allow us to draw another card here. Kind of depending on how we're going to end on this. If we do have an Albaz in the hand, we could go for a different line, but we also have Branded in red, always going to be an option that we can set off the Albion there. So there is like a Gimmick Puppet lock if we want to, where we can go the Cartesia and the Aluber into a Garanganol. Garanganol can then dump the Gimmick Puppet. And do we see the line? We are looking at our extra deck to see what cards we want to send. We could send the Titanic Lad if we don't want to play the Gimmick Puppet line at all. But that definitely is a benefactor here. We're going to be seeing the Lost activating as well. And we see the McCurry and the Albion in the hand, or in the bottom two cards of their deck. So that's going to be what they're going to be thinking of doing. We do add the Albion, so maybe wanting that extra draw. And we decide to dump from the extra deck a... Looks like a Titanic Lab was going to be what we were going to try dumping. But now the Rinbrum is also on their mind. So dumping the Rinbrum here, that definitely was a misplay in my books. We're going to go for Albion dumping the Retribution, attempting to draw one more card. We had the Gimmick Puppet lock here, which is kind of unfortunate, but... Titanic Lad Summon Out Quem is a very good card too. We do see a kit as well, so we can summon out the kit and then activate the effects. We can search for a Branded in red or an opening, and then put back. We search for the opening and then we put back. I don't get to see the card unfortunately, but we can then set the opening and then end phase. And it was a Quem that we had in the hand, so we put back the Quem there, which I mean. You don't really need the Quem. I definitely think that putting it back is the right choice. And we set the Branded red and just pass turn on this. Not too bad of an end board, honestly. They're two Veilers. We do normal summon the Dark Blade, activating the effect, sending the Memento Bone Party to target the Branded in red. And this is going to kind of force their hand to activate that Branded red if they want to activate it this turn. So we do see the chain of it. And like we're not going to get Gimmick Puppet locked anymore, which is very nice. They do target the Aluber because, or they're thinking about the Albaz. We do add the Albaz back, and we try to banish the Kit. I mean, you never want to banish Kit. Kit's going to be one of your best resources in this kind of game now that that the Branded Fusion is at 1. But we also forgot to add back the Cartesia last turn as well, which is going to be very rough. We do see the Lubellion. And then we're going to go Lost as well. And we do have the discard for cost. We discard the second Albaz in the hand. So we still have the Rinbrum, which is going to be able to bring out that Albaz. And then we add the McCourier here. And then we're going to try to put back the Albaz as well as the Albion in the graveyard to go up into that Mirror Jade. So now that Lubellion is going to be pretty much dead, not going to be able to be put back into the extra deck to essentially start reshuffling back our resources, which is very important. That when you only play one Lubellion, you kind of want to shuffle it back if you don't think you're going to have that kind of grind game here. So we do see on summon we have the ability to activate the Mirror Jade, and we're going to activate the effect. And on that, we just scoop it up, realizing that we have no other extender to play. We can't chain any cards effects because we are under Lost. And it's just going to be game from there. So definitely going to be pretty cool. You don't have to get a Puppet lock to essentially win the game here. Mirror Jade being a very crazy card. If you have used your normal summon and you don't have any other extenders, you can just win. There are some extenders in our deck that kind of allow us to play through it, but we have also like the Rinbrum that we have to pay attention to where they can discard a card, and they have the McCourier as well. So having that like monster negate and like being able to summon back out can be quite nice. And like not to mention, we have to clear their board. They're also gonna have follow up. They have Retribution, and that they have everything. So like even though Branded is not going to be like one turn killing you like they were used to before, with the Gimmick Puppet lock, we still have lots of power available for us with those McCouriers as well. But dive on to Game 3, we are going to be seeing Memento going to be going first. Now, this is when I was playing Judgment, I believe, so that's going to be put into our deck, which can have a very good effect versus the Branded deck, but The Branded deck has quite a good matchup in the Memento end board. You know, if you want to play cards like Book of Eclipse here, we see a little bit more of a pure build. I'm not even sure if I was playing Feastman at the time, so this could be a 100% pure Memento deck, which definitely would have explained why we were making some of those bad plays not linking away into the Feastman lineup, because, you know, making a Caesar against Branded is essentially so free. But we do see, diving on into Game 3, the Memento start off with a Angel Witch going up into the Tatsumshigu. Tatsumshigu dumping the Goblin, the Mace, as well as the Sleepy here. So perhaps the Gatic is in the hand, or we want to kind of, you know, use the Anguish to put back because we are afraid of a Bestial. But they preemptively just Bestial our Mace here, which is going to be the target that we did use for the Anguish. It still unfortunately destroys herself, which is very rough. But we just opt to set one card and pass. So yeah, definitely a bit of a bad play. If we would have had to start off with Tatsumshigu, we definitely could have perhaps avoided that there. But it's going to be kind of rough to have that Bestial in the hand. I think they only have like 3 of them in their deck. So it is kind of rough. We do see a set card, and they do go Fusion Duplication, or Fusion Deployment up into the Cartesia. Cartesia is going to activate the effect, and we do chain a Veiler to this, stopping the Fusion. Now, this kind of tells us they don't have any other access to any other ways to Fusion Summon, and we do chain the Book of Eclipse here. We have an Ash for it, you know, essentially making it they're wasting multiple cards to get this Fusion to resolve, so we want to make sure that we just do not let it resolve. We do see a Thrust, but unfortunately we have no monsters on the field, so they're not able to add a Talent or a Branded Fusion, or that could be potentially used next turn. But instead, we see an Nadir Servant in the hand, so we are going to be choosing to activate the Nadir Servant, and we're going to kind of let this resolve. I think that the set card is a Judgment, but I don't really want to just negate a Nadir Servant. So we have a few options here. We can send a Garua for a draw, which is not going to be that good. We do send the Albion instead. Like I was going to mention, we have either Albion to get us incentive follow-up no matter what, because we are going to be able to add the Quem to the hand, and then we can just normal summon the Quem. We haven't used the effect yet, or the Rinrum could be the other option there. But, you know, our opponent has nothing on the field other than one card in the hand and a set card, so it's going to be a little bit more better going for this. We do let the normal summon of the Quem resolve here, which is very interesting that we're not going to be judgmenting that. I feel like that's definitely going to be a really good stop of a normal summon. It would bring us down to 4,000, and then we already have exactly 4,000 on the field, so that's why we can't judgment it, for anyone wondering. You know, the Jerusalem is 25, and the Cartesia is a 15, which is going to be exactly the 4,000 needed, which is why we can't judgment at any point of time. We see the send of the Albaz, and they do go battle phase, attack us down, you know, dealing the 53. And then we're going to be seeing the Albion setting the Branded in red during the end phase, and we just pass turn. We do have the normal summon of the Gatic, and then we target the Tatsumshigu, and at that point, like, the game is essentially already over. We know we're going to be losing. It's going to resolve. We add it to the hand, and then we activate the effect, special summon itself out, and we let it resolve. Here they're going to go Branded in red. We do chain the DD Crow on the Albaz, but we have the Cartesia to send the Druid Swarm just to send that Tatsumshigu to the graveyard here. We are going to activate the Cartesia, and at that point, it's just going to be game. You know, we have no cards left. We're going to be essentially leaving the judgment on the field, and our opponent has won the game. So we see the Granganol going to be made. Granganol, as well as the Druid Swarm, will activate the effect. And we can also see the Quem activate as well. The Tatsumshigu is going to go to the graveyard now, and then we have essentially nothing. So we're going to be seeing another Albion being sent to the graveyard, and then the Cartesia we will summon some back, and we have just lost the game, unfortunately. Yeah, Judgment was the set card. It was not going to do us very good there, unfortunately, with the Jerusalem just having the power to push and banish your stuff, essentially just being the MVP of that game 3 there. Regardless, hope you're watching the video. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe for some more content like this. Stay safe. Peace.